Hey guys, welcome back to Hands On Channel. I thought today we would talk about winterizing your pressure washer or your power washer. It's a very important thing. If you live in a cold climate where you get below freezing, you better make sure you winterize your pump, because the first winter that comes along and it freezes up inside of that pump, it'll destroy it and basically render your pressure washer useless. And I'm pretty sure the warranty doesn't cover freezing, so you better make sure that you get all the water out of there and you do the proper procedure. You can see here I bought this stuff, Briggs & Stratton Pump Saver, and I'm going to show you how to pump that in there. I'll just get this hose out of the way right quick. One of the things I did, I just used this thing a couple days ago, and one of the things I did was made sure to drain all the water out of that hose before I coiled it up. And another thing you're going to want to do is grab your wand and bring it over to a place where you don't mind draining the water out, and just get all the water out of that wand as well. You don't want to leave any place where even a little bit of water like that could freeze up. And I'm also going to remove the tip out, just so that so that no little bit of water gets trapped behind there. You got to think like a drop of water, and it doesn't take very much to split apart a piece of metal tubing or break some stuff. So we want to get that completely drained out. But according to the manufacturer's recommendations, you're supposed to fill this tank all the way up, preferably with pure gas, 100% gasoline, no ethanol. What can happen is if you put ethanol in here and you let it sit for 3 months over winter, 3 or 4 months over winter, then you go to fire it up and it can actually gum up and it'll start. My understanding is the ethanol and the water, it starts separating somehow, and I don't really understand all of that, but basically I just stay away from it. On small engines, I try to use pure gas on everything, especially when you're going to store it over winter. I think the reason the manufacturer suggests that you fill this all the way up is this is a steel tank. Basically that can rust. If there was any moisture in the air, when you closed it up, that steel tank could rust. And I'm sure if you have the thing filled all the way up, it's less likely to rust. I've always, especially on plastic gas tanks, I like to run the thing completely empty and leave zero fuel in it. So use your discretion. I've always just ran my gasoline tank all the way empty, but again, because this one is a steel tank, you may want to go ahead and follow the manufacturer's recommendations. But I put this little hose extension thing on here, and the whole point of that was so that if I'm ever getting a little too hard with it and I pull around a corner, it'll give me a little place here to protect the pump, hopefully. At least that's the idea. So anyways, what we're going to do here is take our Briggs & Stratton Pump Saver, shake it up pretty good, and then screw this on. And we're going to make a mess here. So get a rag, because basically when you spray this thing, I wasn't prepared for it the first time I did it, and it shot out of here down at this port. So grab yourself a rag. Okay, so we'll put the rag over here just to try to kind of capture some of it. So now we just simply depress this. Okay, I want to make sure and get plenty in there. And you can see it got all over my floor. Some of that's water. I can see that it didn't mix in with the oil, but that's basically how you do it. You give that a couple of blasts with that Briggs & Stratton product here. I don't know how many you can get out of each can. I figure at least 3 or 4. One other thing you want to do once you get the Pump Saver product in there is come up to the front here, and you're not going to start the machine. You're just going to slowly pull it over. And the idea here is so that any trapped water that might be down in the pistons of the pump will get circulated around with that Briggs & Stratton fluid that we pumped in there. So that's basically the idea, guys. You want to rotate this around, not start it up, but just get the engine to rotate so that the pump rotates a little bit. You can see it's definitely pushing some out. So we've got a lot of foam in there. That's good news. And we'll just clean up our mess here. Yeah, the majority of that's water, so that's good. Flushed all of that water out. Excellent. So that is basically how you winterize it. Now this thing, other than making a mess and dripping on my floor, this should be ready to put up for winter storage, and when I fire it up come springtime, or the next time I fire it up, I shouldn't have any issues. Come on out of there. Another thing, since my hand is a little oily from that Briggs & Stratton stuff, I'm going to go ahead and rub it on here so that these fittings don't rust. Appreciate you tuning in. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up, subscribe for more, and until then, we'll see you next time.